Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nur Fatma AI Wali and I am the student of the foundation level at the Rehan School of our campus. Today I am going to talk with Maya about the topic What's the Matter? The Roots of Concern. So let's start it.
What's up?
Hello Maya, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What's on your mind today?
I'm gonna ask some questions. So my first question is what does the phrase What's the Matter mean?
Oh, getting straight to the point. I love it. Usually, when someone asks, "What's the matter?" they're just asking what's wrong or if something is bothering you. It's kind of the universal way of checking in when someone looks upset.
Okay. So why do people express concern for others?
It's basically the glue that holds us together. Most of us are wired for it. Empathy allows us to feel a bit of what someone else is going through, which makes it almost impossible to just stand by when we see someone hurting. Plus, it's how we build trust. Knowing someone actually cares if you're okay makes the world feel a lot less lonely.
Yeah, you're right. So,
It really
what are the common roots of concern in human relationships?
it really does make a difference. In female friendships, concern often looks like a lot of emotional validation. It's less about jumping straight to a solution and more about saying, I hear you and your feelings make total sense. There's usually a big emphasis on active listening and creating a safe space to vent. Does that sound like what you've seen?
Okay, so how can concern show empathy?
Mm, I'm not entirely sure I follow. Could you tell me more about what you mean by answer and repeat?
I said, how can concern show empathy?
It's like the active version of empathy.
Yeah.
Empathy is the feeling, the internal, I get it, but concern is the action. When you show concern, you're essentially telling the other person, I'm not just noticing your pain, I'm actually here with you in it. That's what makes someone feel seen.
Yeah, okay. So, why is understanding emotions important?
I think you might mean why sharing emotions is important, right? It's basically how we build a bridge to another person. You keep everything inside, you're on an island, but open up lets someone else world. It makes the burden feel lighter just because you're not the only one carrying it.
Okay, so what causes people to worry about others?
Hmm. Usually it's a mix of empathy and a sense of responsibility. When you care about someone, their stress becomes your stress. It's that instinct to protect the people you love, or even just a general desire to see others be okay.
Okay, so why do friends ask what's the matter?
Mhm. Because they've got that built in radar for when something's off. Even if you're trying to hide it, parents usually pick up on the smallest change in your tone or the way you're sitting. It's their way of trying to open a door for you to talk if you're ready.
Okay, so what role does communication play in expressing concern?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite catching that.
I said
Are you
that
asking about how
I said
I'm still a bit lost? Could you
what role does
I'm sorry.
communication play in expressing concern?
It's it's everything. Without it, concern is just a feeling trapped in your head.
Okay.
Communication is how you actually bridge that gap, whether it's
Body
that
languages
says
reveal concern.
absolutely. Mm, or a certain look in the eyes says way more than a whole paragraph of text ever could. It's that subconscious signal that you're fully present with them.
Okay, so why do people sometimes hide their problems?
Not entirely sure I follow.
I said
Do you mean why people in the science field?
No,
Unless
no. I said, why do people sometimes hide their problems?
usually it's because they don't want to be a burden or they're just not ready to put into words what they're feeling yet. It can be scary to be that vulnerable, you know?
Okay, so my next
Trust
question is, how can listening help someone who is trouble?
it's like a pressure valve. When someone's in trouble, they're often spinning in their own head. Just having someone truly listen lets them get those thoughts out into the open, which often makes the problem feel smaller and more manageable.
Mhm.
It takes the weight off their shoulders.
Okay, so my next question is, what's the difference between concern and curiosity?
Wait, real estate?
I
I
said,
think you might have meant something else.
no, I said,
I mean, they're definitely in.
what's the difference
I'm
between
listening.
concern and curiosity?
One is about the heart, the other is about the head. Curiosity is wanting to know what is happening, it's a search for
Mhm.
information. Concern is wanting to know if you're okay, it's a search for
Mm.
well being. You can be curious about a stranger's problem without actually caring if it gets solved. But concern means you're emotionally invested in the outcome.
Okay, so how do teachers show concern for students?
Usually by noticing the things that don't get said. It's not just about the grades. It's when a teacher pulls you aside after class because they notice you've been quieter than usual, or when they give you a bit of extra grace on a deadline because they can tell you're struggling. It's those small gestures that let a student know they're not just a number in a classroom.
Okay, so what are healthy ways to express concern?
It really depends on the person, but generally falls into a few different buckets. You've got the verbal side, asking a direct question, like, "Are you doing okay?" You're just sending a thinking of you text. Then there's the physical side, like a hug or supportive hand on the shoulder. And then there's the act of service, doing
Okay,
something small to take a load. Wait, what? That's a pretty dramatic way to put it.
okay,
You okay?
so how can stress affect a person's behavior?
I think you might mean how stress affects a person's behavior, right? It basically puts the brain into survival mode. When the stress levels hit a certain point, the logical part of the brain takes a back seat and the emotional part takes over. That's why people might snap at someone they love or completely shut down and withdraw when they're overwhelmed. It's not usually a choice, it's just the body's way of reacting to a perceived threat.
Okay, so my next question is, how can concern improve teamwork?
Creates a foundation of trust. When teammates actually care about each other's people, not just as coworkers, they're more likely to have each other's backs. It makes people feel safe enough to admit when they're struggling or managed. That's how you go from just a group of people working together to an actual team.
Okay, so what are the signs that someone may need help?
Usually it's the things that change suddenly, like if someone who's always talkative suddenly goes quiet, or if they stop showing up to things they usually love. Sleep patterns and appetite often shift too, but sometimes it's just a vibe of feeling that they're present physically, but their mind is somewhere else entirely. Have you noticed someone acting a bit off lately?
No. So, how can kindness reduce someone's worry?
It basically acts like a safety net. When you're spiraling in worry, the world feels cold and hostile. A simple act of kindness, a warm smile, a genuine compliment, or someone just being patient with you reminds you that you're not alone and that there's still good stuff out there. It breaks the loop of negative thoughts by grounding you in the present moment with something positive.
Okay, so thank you, Maya. That's very helpful. Thanks for the knowledge and see you next time. Bye bye.
Wait, not very helpful?
I said
Sorry to hear that.
it was very
Take
helpful.
Oh, you had me worried for a second there. I'm
Okay.
glad you actually found it useful. Talk soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye for now.